And welcome back to the Capitol Report. I'm Steve Lance. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth testifying on Capitol Hill today over the Pentagon's budget request, overshadowed by questions about Iran. Our Washington correspondent, Luis Martinez, has the details.
The Indo-Pacific is our priority theater and China is our pacing threat. That's why I've traveled twice to that region to visit our forces and meet with our allies and partners. We applaud those allies who are stepping up, but others need to do more and quickly.
The White House is requesting over $1 trillion for the Department of Defense for fiscal year 2026, $131 billion through the appropriations process, and over $150 billion included in the reconciliation bill. This is just over 3% of GDP, and some Republican lawmakers believe it's insufficient.
Four main adversaries: Xi Jinping and his Chinese Communist Party, Vladimir Putin's militarized Russia, Kim Jong-un's North Korea, and the Ayatollahs. Clearly, such a budget plan would allow the military balance to continue, as it has been, to tilt away from the United States and toward communist China.
Democratic senators pressed Secretary Hegseth on whether the U.S. will take actions against Iran.
Most of what I can or should say would be reserved for a classified setting. I would say the president, obviously, any decisions on this matter are at the presidential level. He has communicated very clearly for quite some time.
I do understand that, Mr. Secretary, but my question for you is whether you have been asked actively to provide options for the president regarding a strike in the Middle East.
If I had or I had not, I wouldn't disclose that in this forum, Senator. My job, our job, Chairman and I, at all times, is to make sure the president has options and is informed of what those options might be and what the ramifications of those options.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth also dispelled Democratic senators' impression that changes in the hierarchy of the Pentagon are affecting the combat readiness of the Department of Defense.
Sir, I would just say the media loves sensational headlines that are not connected at all to reality. If you look at the execution of our office and what we've done on the president's priorities, I'm very proud of what we've been able to do in 140 days. And when you move fast to reestablish deterrence and restore a warrior ethos and rebuild the military, it's going to come with some changes.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who is not in the Appropriations Committee, demanded this Wednesday that senators have a private briefing on the situation in Iran. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Luis Eduardo Martinez, NTD News.
So what do everyday Americans think about President Trump's handling of the military conflict between Israel and Iran? And how should the United States respond if the situation continues to escalate? NTD's Sam Wong was out in the National Mall right here in D.C. to hear from the people.
How do you think President Trump has been navigating the situation between Israel and Iran?
I think he's been doing a really good job. He's given Iran a lot of leeway. He's given them 2 months to come to the tables to negotiate, and they haven't done it. You can only give them so much slack before you have to do something.
Poorly, because he said we have control over the skies over Iran when it's Israel has control.
But I do not want him to get involved again with any kind of conflict.
He has managed to keep a distance, yet at the same time put forth everything the American people feel should be done.
Because if you don't stop Iran in its tracks, what are they going to do with the nukes? They're going to get Israel, they're going to get all of our allies, and then all these other coalitions will team up, and then we're doomed.
If this conflict continues to escalate, how do you think the U.S. should respond to it?
The U.S. will back Israel to the end. Iran said, we have no intention of building a bomb. Basically, we're peace-loving people, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm Gerald Ford.
Stay out of it. Unless Iran does something in one of our embassies or something, then we should get involved. Besides that, stay out of it. Israel seems to have things under control.
The supply and logistics is fine. We just don't want to have boots on the ground. We have enough boots on the ground with the Israelis, and they're doing a great job.
I'm married to a veteran of Vietnam War, so he's really anti-war. I don't know. I don't want the U.S. to be involved if they don't have to be. But I support every troop that's out there, whatever they have to do.
We need to stand firm with Israel, but let them take the front. I think with our aerial support that we have and our fighting power through the air, we don't need to put boots on the ground. We can handle the business just from the sea and the air.
American food company General Mills, the latest in big food, saying that they're giving artificial food dyes the boot. This just one day after Kraft Heinz making a similar announcement. NTD correspondent Jason Blair has that update.
Food giant General Mills announces that they are removing synthetic food dyes from all of their U.S. cereals as well as K-12 school foods by next summer. They say they also plan to transition all of their foods by the end of 2027. The company's CEO, Jeff Harmening, says today the vast majority of our foods are made without certified colors, and we're working to ensure that will soon apply to our full portfolio. On Tuesday, Kraft Heinz made a similar announcement saying that they will fade out synthetic colors from all of their products by 2027, as well as not launch any new ones containing them.
The vibrant colors that don't appear in nature and food mess with the mind of a developing child.
The HHS has been campaigning to get companies to remove petroleum-based food dyes and replace them with, quote, natural ingredients for American children, as they have already done for European and Canadian children.
As you know, there's two versions of cereal made by American companies, one with the vibrant colors for American kids and one without them for Canadian kids, both made by the American company.
On Wednesday, HHS Director Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that coffee giant Starbucks will, quote, further MAHA their menu, and that the chain already avoids artificial dyes in their items. And in May, burger chain In-N-Out announced that they are replacing synthetic dyes with natural ones in their pink lemonade and strawberry milkshakes. They also say they are transitioning to a new ketchup that will use real sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Jason Blair, NTD News.
Coming up, Nippon Steel finalizing its purchase of U.S. steel. With President Trump holding final say over key decisions, can national security concerns be addressed? We'll break it down with our panel, Denny Salas and Gerard Sessler, just after the break.